So you have an idea for an app, maybe even one to help with the COVID-19 crisis? In this video series, I'll show you how to build a prototype using a tool called Thunkable. The language is so easy to use, even if you've never coded a single line, you know nothing about coding, you can have a prototype of your app running on your phone tonight in an hour. I'm Dave Wolber, and I'll be your host for this video series. I teach computer science at USF, and I focus on teaching beginners. And I use drag and drop blocks-based languages that have come out over the last 5 or 10 years. I taught the first App Inventor course way back in 2009. And I co-wrote a popular book for that language. I also run a site called appinventor.org, with which thousands of people have learned to use the basics of coding using videos just like you're watching right now. Many teachers also use appinventor.org for their courses. So if you're a teacher, this is also a good series for you. I'm now working on a book for Thunkable, and it's a tool that kind of builds on the greatness of the earlier App Inventor tool. And I'm going to teach you that in this series. Okay, let's look at a real problem. With COVID-19, there's all kinds of issues, including collecting and distributing masks for hospitals, and also kind of for the rest, most people, it's also a challenge just to keep up with the groceries and the supplies you need. Basic stuff that we're not equipped to deal with. Maybe an app can help. The idea we're going to consider in this series is, let's build an app where neighbors can share info on supplies. Like, toilet paper's available at Walgreens on Parnassus Street, right? You might have similar ideas to help with the crisis. And, we've all had ideas for apps, just in regular life, right? Usually we let these ideas float off into the clouds. With this video series, it's about kind of making your app ideas a reality. So how do you go from an idea to a tangible app, to a minimally viable product that people actually use or buy? Paper prototyping, kind of drawing screens and mock interfaces, doing some sketches. That's one way to help and get, kind of early feedback on your idea. Market research is another task. Does the solution already exist? For our neighborhood supplies app, are there neighborhood social sites kind of already doing this for us? One important thing though is don't give up on your idea too soon. Just say, oh, somebody's already done it. Instead, the question is, how can you add value to what already exists in the world? With a prototype, when you pitch your idea, you can demo a working app and even let your audience play around with it. It's a much better way to communicate your idea and get feedback than like a straight PowerPoint. You can keep iterating on the prototype until you have a product ready for production. We're going to do this tonight, and you're going to build a real app. Prototyping and coding used to really be like for the 0.1% of the world. Those people that have spent years in school or somehow learned to code, and it takes a while just to be able to build fairly basic apps. Okay, now we've got these new tools like Thunkable, and you don't have to be an expert to build prototypes and even complete apps. The coding is visual, it's drag and drop. It's something like putting puzzle pieces together. So let's get started, and let me show you the Thunkable coding environment. So I just want to give you an idea of what you're going to tackle here. On the left here is the thunkable.com site, and this is kind of the screens you're going to use to build your app. As you build the app, you're going to be able to see kind of a facsimile of what the app looks like. On the right over here, I'm actually showing, I'm projecting my iPad onto the screen. So this is kind of a live action test of the app I'm building right over here. So definitely take a look at the videos next in the series, and I'm going to give you step by step on how to build a prototype for your idea.